All right. So this session, we're going to talk about grammar. I
Okay.
have uh, I have mentioned, I think in the last session, or maybe even sessions before about grammar. So the first thing, just to get it out of, you don't have a grammar class.
Mm.
I don't care what anyone says. You could tell them that Dr. Ray said, and you give them my telephone number. Dr. Ray. Now, if they want to continue to do it, that's
We
fine.
have we have two sessions every week. Oh yeah, grammar.
If they want to continue to do it, but you can tell them that, hey, look, Dr. Ray in the research. More importantly, forget what Dr. Ray says.
Yeah,
The research, the research. Forget what Dr. Ray says. I'm nobody. But the research says, and what we know about good pedagogy is that we don't teach grammar in isolation. It's almost
integrate.
the same. It's almost the same as when we talked about teaching speaking, right? We don't teach, speaking is integrated in reading opportunities, is integrated in listening opportunities, it's even integrated in writing opportunities, right? Grammar is from a pedagogical effectiveness standpoint, it should never be taught in isolation. You should never compartmentalize grammar. You should never have a grammar lesson. You want to point out grammar points. You want to make grammar points. And reading, a little bit more light here. Reading is a great opportunity to make grammar points. Okay, even listening, right? So if you heard Dr. Ray speak with my in the house or with
Yes,
my friends, right? You will see a difference in when I speak in more professional settings, like with you.
yes, of course.
So yeah, because with you and other people, I'm being mindful. I'm trying to be mindful of my speech anyway, with my grammar. Fine. Um, but when I'm with my friends, I'm not being mindful at all. Right?
Yeah.
I cut words off. I cut words off. Now here's the point. My Baltimore accent comes out. Here's the point that I'm trying to make. One of the things that we must um, ensure that young people know, that learners know, whether young or old, is that grammar must not be weaponized. Grammar must not be weaponized. And too many people weaponize grammar, right? And what do I
Yes.
mean by that? Somebody comes in, they have something critical to say. We mentioned this the last time we met about writing. They have something critical to say, something important, something amazing, something that has a lot of value to add to the conversation. And people don't listen to them. Why? Because their grammar is bad.
Mm.
His grammar. You see, he said he are or they is, right? His grammar is bad. But he may or she may be saying something that is amazing,
Yeah.
something that is valuable. And I think we talked about this last time. And when we grade their work, right, we're looking for the meaning of the writing. What is the main idea? What's the meaning? How in depth, how much sophistication is in their writing? Did they prove that they can go to a higher order writing.
Yeah.
Like, can they synthesize it, right? Are they
Mm.
synthesizing? Are they evaluating, right? Are they analyzing, right? Are they moving up Bloom's taxonomy? Okay. That is what is most important, not whether their grammar is good. Now, again, I'm not saying that grammar has no value. I'm not saying that, because grammar can assist with coherency. If you have bad grammar, then people might misinterpret what you're saying, or it may affect the meaning of what you're saying. So I'm not saying that people can just go around and just totally neglect grammar. What I am saying is that should not be anyone's primary focus. The primary focus should be the meaning of what someone is saying, right?
Yes.
So as educators, I think we are the champions and the advocates for and against that, right? So we can advocate for that. We can advocate for this what I call Nazi use of grammar, where people are grammar Nazi. Oh, you said this wrong. Oh, you said that wrong. Oh, you said this wrong. And your grammar, because then it goes from grammar to what? To accent, right? Right? It goes from grammar to accent, and then accent is just totally wrong. It doesn't matter what your accent is, right?
Yes.
People, oh, he has a British accent. I want to learn the American accent. What? What do you care what accent you have? As long as someone understands what you're saying, you know. Now, there's some people in some cultures where they have such thick accent that maybe their mother accent is thick, and maybe they need to work on making sure people can hear what they're saying properly. But most people, most cultures, their accent is completely fine. 95% of cultures accent is completely fine, right? Is a couple, or maybe people who have like a speech impediment or something like that. They may need to work on the pronunciation of the words and the
Mm.
accent.
Yes.
But 95% of the cultures in this world, they speak English, whether they speak it sounding like a Pakistani or sounding like a Cambodian or sounding like it doesn't matter. Accent doesn't matter. But what happens is accent begins to play a role because people start to promote grammar, and grammar and accent starts to melt, right? Um, and that's what I mean by weaponizing grammar.
Mm.
Okay. Because what happens is it's now not about what a person has to say, it's about how they say it, right? How they sound when they saying it, which creates basic discrimination. We don't want to hire Indian teachers because of their accent. I've heard that here. I've heard it not just here, other places. We don't want to hire Nigerians because of their accent. Whatever. And that's just and if you remember back to day one, we
So
talked
the
about
accent
possible
doesn't matter. Also, the Egyptian teachers.
Egyptian. We don't want it because of the Egyptian accent.
Yeah.
The the When you do that, you got to remember the first day when we talked about Camara Develu and the post method condition. Remember possibility, practicality. What was it? Practicality, particularity, possibility. Right?
Yeah, that's right.
Possibility of being brave is about opportunities. And when we start to look at accent, we're limiting possibility. When we start look at nationality, we're limiting possibility. Right. And then teaching learning transactions, the last thing that we want to do is limit possibilities. This is the bottom line. Also, taking it a step further, when we only look at grammar, we limit possibilities. Okay. And we create unnecessary tension, because what happens is you can have, and I have seen this with my own eyes, and not here, but in the States. People become disenfranchised because of grammar. You don't want people to become disenfranchised because of grammar, because they feel like, oh, I can't talk like that because talking like that is only for certain type of people.
Yes, this gives them
Okay.
شعرها.
And what happens is it begins to build a wedge, create a wedge between communication and effectiveness and how people deal with one another. And then what happens is people begin to dig in. They begin to trench in. Oh, I'm gonna start speaking like this. And then it just creates, wedges and wedges and become furthermore separated. Okay. And this is a real thing. It's a real historical thing. I'll give you an example. I'll give you a great historical example. Do you know that this British accent that we know that many people love today? Do you know that's new? Relatively
Really?
new? Yeah. So what happened was after the Americans got independence from the Brits,
Mm.
the American and so there was two wars. There's the American Revolutionary War and there's the War of 1812, right after the years after the American Revolution, where America and the UK had a war with each other.
Yes.
And about sometime between sometime between the American Revolutionary War and the War of 1812 and a little bit after that, Brits begin to say, we don't want to sound like those Americans.
Mm.
Because you got to remember, Americans and Brits pretty much sounded alike because they were Brits. Most of them were Brits. Some of them from other places, but many of them were Brits, right? And
Mm.
they sounded similar. So the Brits said, you know what? We don't want to sound like those guys. So they began to take on a different accent. And if you
Mm.
notice, so if you go to Boston, if you go to even New York in the Northeast, New York, Boston, Massachusetts, right? They sound more like the original Brits than what the Brits sound today. With some
Different.
with some very with some variation, with some variations, because
Oh, yeah.
but they sound more like the original Brit sound. That British accent that you hear today is something that was intentional. Accents are intentional.
Mm.
And it's normally because I don't want to sound like this guy. Or I don't, we need to separate ourselves from these folks. Because remember, language is a part of the human experience. And it's a huge part of identity, language, right? I hear some people, uh, what I have learned is that it's good that I don't speak Arabic, right? I get more opportunities because I don't speak Arabic, because people will say, good, you don't speak Arabic. I like that because my language, this is my language. English is a little bit different, right? Because
Yeah.
English is a world language, but
Yes.
Arabic
It's hard.
oh, it's hard too. But I have seen Americans and non-Americans or non-Arabs speak Farsi, like real clean, perfect Farsi. And every time I've seen it, because they come and they think they're going to impress like a Saudi or an Egyptian. And what they end up doing, and I've noticed this, is they don't Saudis or whoever, Egyptian, whoever, they don't like
Yeah.
it. My
Uh-huh.
language. You speak it better than I do, right? Um, so and that's one of those things where you just gotta know. And it really, as a teacher, we have to say, this is the value of language. Think about
Mm.
it like this. Bangladeshis had two wars with the Pakistanis over language, right? The Pakistanis said, look, you're going to speak Urdu. And the Bangladeshis said, we ain't speaking no Urdu. And they went to war. And the Bangladeshi, small little Bangladesh, small, kicked the Pakistanis' butt twice. Any Pakistani, I know you ain't gonna like it if you're listening to it right now, but the reality is the Bangladeshis, that little small country, they fought. They fought over
Yes.
what? Language. That was the main thing. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. Was
Mm,
you're not gonna make us speak Urdu, and we'll die. We'll die, right? So what was this the point? The point is that language is extremely important to human identity, to how we group
mm.
each other. It's extremely important. Look at Sudanese. What do Sudanese call themselves? Arabs.
Yeah, Arabs, yeah.
Yeah. Sudanese. Sudanese say I'm Arabic.
Mm,
Why? Because they speak what?
they speak Arabic.
They speak Arabic. Why? Because that's that language is so important to them.
Mm.
I'll give you another example. What language do I speak?
Sorry again.
What language do I speak?
English, of course.
English. But here's the key. I don't call myself English. I'm not English because English is a because in America we don't hold true to the language, right?
Yeah.
Because
Mm,
because language is just we speak English because we speak English, right? There's no real we don't romanticize English.
mm.
We don't in America. It's like, yeah, we speak English because we speak English. Did you know that when America separated from the Brits in the independence, that they did a vote, they took a vote on what language was going to be the national language? Did you know that?
No.
Did you know that English only won by one vote? English only won. You know what? Most people wanted a lot of not most people wanted to speak English, but you know the second language that almost beat English? German,
Yeah. So,
because we had a lot of Germans who helped America in
mm,
on the
mm.
American Revolution.
Yes,
We
I
had a
have
lot of
read
Germans
this.
and a
Yeah.
lot of French. A
German.
lot of Germans, a lot of French helped
Mm,
Americas help the guys for revolution. A lot
mm,
of our cities are named after German or French
yeah.
generals and officers. So, so from a historical standpoint, when someone says, well, the Americans, the Americans, their language is not as because we don't care.
Mm,
Because language is not really the focal point of what we do. Owning guns and cars, that's what we about, right? That's
yeah.
what we're about. So it's not really the focal point um of our culture. Interesting enough, interesting enough, when we also talk about English, and this all pertains to grammar, by the way, we got to also understand that the Brits they didn't create English. Did you know that?
No.
Okay. The Brits have very little to do with the English language. Okay. What happened was you got to remember there was a time where the UK controlled and ruled 2/3 of the world. Most of the world they controlled,
Mm,
uh,
mm,
and they lost control after basically in World War One. Well, they started to lose a lot of control during World War One. But so because they colonized so many countries, they became synonymous with English. But the Brits have very little to do with the English language as far as it being developed in the UK. That's just simply not true. Do you know where the birthplace of the English language is? Russia.
nice.
The birthplace of the English language is actually in Russia. And then over time, it started to migrate west.
Mm,
So you had so many cultures and societies that contribute to English. You remember you got Old English, you have Middle English, and then you have the English
mm,
that we speak today. So the old English started in a Russian region. Remember, Russia is a big place.
mm,
And it started migrating west. And then when we talk about Old English and Middle English, it kind of set in Germany, what we call Germany or the German area. So so a lot of English words actually derive from German. This is why what? America wanted to speak German
yes. Mm,
because a lot of the English language actually derives from German, the German language, right? Um, and then as as history and time went on, and because you gotta remember, every language changes, even Arabic changes. The Arabic
yes,
you
of
speak
course.
today is not
Mm,
the same Arabic from
yes.
1,000 years ago, right? So as the English influence started to permeate all throughout Europe, um, German, it, German, France became as the Enlightenment period came in. The French language had a lot to do with creating English, Middle English, right? And then during the Renaissance, you remember during the Renaissance, we did a what? A rebirth. Renaissance, what? Renaissance means what? Rebirth. So we started to look at the classical languages like Latin,
Mm,
right, and Greek. So then during the Middle Ages, we started to add more Greek and Latin into the English language,
mm,
right? Now, mind you, I'm not talking about the UK at all, right? Uh, so, um, so the so after the rebirth, we started moving towards the language that we start to speak today, right? Um, and so that language is heavy German, heavy French, heavy Latin, heavy Greek, right? All these influences, right?
mm,
So when we're talking about the English language, we're talking about a language that has evolved over time, not in one place, but throughout Asia and Europe. It's very interesting if you go and look at the history of the English language. So when you start talking about when you hear people say, "Oh, the British created," or is the English is the British language, and that is a complete falsehood.
yeah.
And that shows somebody who doesn't know about they don't know anything about um, how the language evolved. We associate English with the UK because again, they ruled two-thirds of the world at one point. So they became synonymous with English, right? Um, it's just like if I said that it's just like if Saudi ruled two-thirds of the world, right? At one point. And then the world started to associate Arabic with Saudi and say Saudis created the Arabic language. Would
Mm,
that be historically true? That wouldn't be historically true.
no. Mm,
Wouldn't be historically true. Because I mean, we know that there were a lot of languages
yes.
spoken here, right?
Yeah.
It just wouldn't be historic. So it's the same thing with English. The
Yeah. Yeah.
same
I
thing.
get. Yeah. Yeah. I get
So
it.
so when you hear people, so this is another reason why you should not focus on grammar because what happens is people use grammar as a way of separating and grouping people. His grammar is better than his. He sounds a certain way. I like the way he speaks, right? And unfortunately, a lot of people lose out on opportunities. A lot of talented people lose out on opportunities because of the way they sound, or maybe their grammar is not as
Yes, they're
great.
thinking before they want to speak, they're thinking of the grammar issues. That's why they got it.
So
Yeah.
So, but as educators, we have to do better.
Mm,
We have to make sure we tell. Again, I'm not saying that grammar has no value. Please don't get me wrong. What I'm
No.
saying is it's not as important as we make it out to be. It's
Mm,
just simply not as important. Okay. So with that being said, when we look at grammar, okay, we have to look at grammar and from a coherency point of view.
mm,
All right. So we're looking at, as educators, we're looking at grammar from the perspective of we want to make sure our learners are what? Are more coherent. So what is coherency? What is coherency?
um,
I know
the,
you know. Don't be shy. What's coherency?
the definition you mean.
Just tell me what you know coherency to be. It's
Coherence
not hard.
means make sense together. Right.
Makes understandable.
Understandable, yeah.
That the point that somebody is understandable. As educators, remember everybody's a reading teacher, right? Everyone's a writing teacher, right? Everyone's
Yeah.
especially a writing. Maybe not a reading teacher, but
Uh-huh.
everyone's especially a writing teacher. The one thing that we want to make sure is that learners are understandable,
Mm,
coherent, that they can communicate a thought in a way where other people understand them.
yes.
I mean, ultimately, that's every excuse me, I hate the word teacher. That's every educator's
Mm,
goal, even the PE teacher, the home economics teacher, the industrial arts teacher, the science teacher. Ultimately, every educator goal is to make sure learners are coherent
mm,
because coherency is the biggest tool that we have as humans to solve problems. We hire lawyers, we hire people to represent us. We have people, we say, this friend speaks very well. Well, they think very well. So I need you to come with me because I know you can say this better than me, right? So our job is to um, make sure that every learner enhances their ability to communicate well. And that's called coherency. That every learner is coherent.
yes. Mm,
I, I don't care what anyone says. I will die with that idea that that's our job as educators. Teachers do something different. Teachers follow the textbook and the curriculum and they do whatever the principal says. That's what teachers do. Educators, what we are mainly focused on is ensuring that our learners are coherent because we know that coherency is going to be the one skill that's going to help them solve many problems, no
Reference.
matter what the problem is. Okay. They
Yes.
having work problems is going to be coherency. They having love problems is going to be coherency. They having
Mm,
parenting problems is going to be
yes.
coherency.
Mm,
Coherency, coherency, coherency is our ability to state our position in a manner where people, in a manner that's universal, where people understand what we're trying to say. Okay. So grammar does help in that regard. Okay? Grammar does help in that regard. Okay. Um, so let's get a little grammary, for lack of a better term. All right. Tell me number one, how many parts of speech are there?
part of speech.
How many parts of speech?
Uh,
I'm gonna be the grammar Nazi for a couple minutes.
oh, okay.
How many parts of speech are there?
Three. Noun. I forget.
Let's do name them together. Give me one.
Noun,
Now,
verb,
verb,
adverbs, prepositions. We have
adverb, preposition. Come on.
Bismillah, adverbs, prepositions, and what else? Adjectives.
Adjectives. Come on.
Um, Adverbs, preposition phrases, or not? No.
If you said noun, you got to include.
What common and proper like this, or
If you said noun, you have to include what replaces a noun.
pronouns?
Pronoun. You're missing two more.
Um, Verb to be. What?
No, that's a verb.
Uh, Related to noun, you mean? Something related
No,
to nouns.
partial,
What?
partial speech.
Bismillah, adjectives.
These words can these words connect ideas.
Conjunctions,
Conjunction. All right.
subordinating conjunction.
The last one you're not gonna get. Interjection.
Oh, yes. So good.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So we need to so these are the parts of speech.
Mm,
Now we need to know that these parts of speech can be in fact, let me do this. It might be better that I do this way. Did I give you the grammar? I gave you the grammar book, right?
yeah, I didn't take a
Let
look at,
me,
at
let me,
actually.
I think I'm gonna do a video too, giving you the answers to and explaining the grammar book. But we're gonna do little bit of it today, not all of it. Because normally what I do is I bring you in and we spend the whole day going over the book, but because of Ramadan, we're not gonna do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's see. Smooth moves grammar. While I'm looking for this, another point that I want to make is just because somebody knows a lot of grammar doesn't mean they know the English language.
Mm. Yes, you are right.
Okay. Um, so I think I'm moving too quick. Let me slow down a bit and ask you this. What is grammar? Let's slow down a lot. What is grammar?
I think grammar in English, it's like math. Yani, we have to
No,
know
it's
the
not like it's not okay, go ahead, continue. Go ahead. You have to know the what?
rules, how to
So
build sentence.
what is grammar? Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
So what is grammar?
As I told you, it's like rules we have to know before we build sentence in English.
Yeah. All right. Do you remember what I told you about the first day about Noam Chomsky?
Um, a lot of things you told me about.
Universal grammar theory, right?
Ah, yes. Ah, universal grammar theory. Yes.
And it says what? Hold on one second. Hello?
Yes, yes. I'm with you.
How are you?
Hi.
Well,
Yeah, I just arrived.
okay. Are you at my villa?
I think so. It's number 20, right?
Yeah. Give me one second.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
Um,
Take your time, Mr. Rainer, if you want.
we said Noam Chomsky. He has universal grammar theory, right?
Yes, the ability to learn language.
The ability to learn that we do it what? Naturally, right? And so
Mm.
what is the brain doing? They're getting the system,
Yes.
right? So grammar could be a set of rules,
Yeah, you
right?
see?
But it's a whole system, a structure. This is in your grammar book, by the way. There's a
Yeah.
whole system structure of a language or languages in general, usually taken as consisting of syntax and
Yeah.
morphology, including inflections, and sometimes phonology and semantics. Okay? That's a more formal definition. Another definition of grammar is that it's a meaning, usage, and form. That's my that's from Dr. Lawson Friedman. We talked about her.
Yeah.
Uh, grammar could be a system of generative rules. That's what you just said, which are
Yeah.
governed by universal grammar parameters. Chomsky. That all right. We just covered that. My
Yeah.
mentor, Dave Hopkins, he says that grammar is context and context. Hold on 1 second. I'm going to give somebody something. Give me 1 second, all
Yeah.
right?
Okay, don't worry. Take your time. Will you brush your teeth or no? اه عشان انا وقعت الدبوس بسرعة. Put it here. انت you brush your teeth or no? No. ليش؟ I want to, I want to Oh, yes, Dr. Ambodiyo.
All right. All right. So remember, so my mentor says that grammar is context and cotext. So let's talk about that. Context is what? We know what context is. What?
Yeah, the situation that the student understand.
In this case, the reader or the listener understands, right?
Mm.
And cotext is what?
I forgot actually the context.
No, I didn't. Because I never told you. The
Oh, yes, good.
cotext, the cotext is the words around the words and their relationship to the words to each other. So words around each other create meaning.
Um,
So words, when you put words around each other, those words create meaning. Make sense? So if I have certain groups of words, if I have words around each other, those words create meaning. So that's the cotext.
okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
And sometimes, so, one of the things that we do as educators, right, is one of the things that we do as educators is we tell learners, or we should do, since students says, teacher, I don't understand this word. I don't know what this word means, right? So instead of automatically telling them this word means this, we ask them to look at the sentence. What I do and what you should do is actually look at the sentence before,
Before. Yeah.
the sentence, and read the sentence after.
Yeah.
And if you do that, that should give you what? Close to the meaning or the exact meaning of the word.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Or one iteration of the meaning of that word. That's what you call cotext. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. 1
So
second.
we often ask students to read. Well, often ask students to read in context, right? Read in context. That's one of the things that that you might, that might be one of the front loading questions you ask them. Remember, we talk about teaching reading. That might be one of the front loading questions. This is now, don't confuse co-text with co-location. You see co-location in textbooks all the time.
Yeah.
Co-location is when words normally are seen together. They naturally go together. All right. Native speakers of a language automatically know these co-locations.
For
Right?
example, what?
Like, so for example, if I say make your homework,
Make your
guys,
homework.
you need to make your homework. That's for Does that make sense to you?
No, do your
No.
homework.
It's do your homework. That's an example of a co-location. So normally you can tell someone is a non-native speaker because put they might put words together that in the native language doesn't naturally go together. Right. So you can say, oh, I know this person is not a native speaker because they said make your homework. A native speaker would say, or somebody who knows English would say, do
Do.
your homework. Right.
Yes.
All right. Same thing. I do a mistake. Oh, I do a mistake. I do a mistake. Right.
I want to speak English again.
Right. What's
Yeah.
wrong with you? I do a mistake. I do a mistake. Right. Again, it's not wrong. Listen, make your homework is not wrong, by the way. It's not wrong. And I do a mistake is really not wrong, but it's not a co-location that would go with the language. Because we would say, what a mistake? I made a mistake. right?
Mm.
I made a mistake. Oh, yeah, I did a mistake. I did a mistake. No, we would say I made a
I
mistake
made a mistake.
because that goes naturally within that
Mm.
syntax of the language, right? So don't confuse collocation
Context.
with cotext, right? So what is syntax, by the way? I keep on using syntax.
Syntax. يا الله.
Syntax. Syntax.
Yeah, I
SYNTAX.
know it, but yeah, I studied in the university. A syntax is it's like a part of speech or
Not a part of speech. The
it,
syntax.
it's a kind of word. What is a kind of word for wait,
Syntax is word
give me hint.
order. Order. The order in which words follow.
The word order.
Yeah. So you wouldn't say you wouldn't say um completed completed homework key. Completed homework key.
Mm.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. His completed homework key. That's right. His completed homework key.
The word order. Oh.
That's the wrong syntax, right?
Mm.
His completed homework key. It should be what? It should be what?
He completed the what
He
did he say?
completed his homework.
Oh,
He
his one.
completed it.
Mm.
So his completed homework key. That's the wrong syntax. Okay.
Yes.
So these are the things that we're looking for when we're talking about grammar, right? What's morphology?
A tiny part of the smallest part.
That does what? What's the important part of the smallest parts?
I am trying to remember these things I said. Give us
You
meaning.
got it right, the tiny parts, but what's important about the tiny parts?
Change the meaning of the word.
Right. They emphasize, they create meaning,
Mm.
right? Right. So that's why. So inflection, you better, you better do your homework, right? That creates meaning versus you better do your homework,
Oh, yes.
right? That creates you better do your homework is different than you better do your homework. I'm going to get you guys if you don't do your homework. You better do your homework, right?
Mm.
Versus you better do your homework. Two different meanings. So
Yeah.
morphology is when we use small emphasis, right? Inflection is key to morphology.
Small emphasis.
The small parts that create meaning.
Small emphasis, right?
Mhm.
Mm.
It's the emphasis on the small parts. So we don't, basically what morphology is saying is that, naturally in a language, we don't emphasize every syllable. There's certain parts of a word that we emphasize that creates meaning. And that the emphasis on the small parts normally will create meaning.
Mm.
Now, here's what I want you to get the reoccurring theme is meaning, which translates ultimately to coherency. Look at Lawson Freeman's meaning, usage, and form. Right? Context and context to create what? Meaning.
Meaning, yes.
The whole system and structure of a language or languages in general, usually taken as consisting of syntax and morphology, and sometimes phonology and semantics.
Mm.
Okay. So what do teachers need to know when we talk about grammar? What do teachers need to know? Um,
To teach what? And grammar, you mean?
to teach the grammar. So we need to know, teachers need to know labels and examples. They need to know how to contextualize.
Mm.
We talked about contextualize last week,
Mm.
getting context, contextualize,
Mm.
contextualize reading. Okay.
Okay.
Contextualize meaning to make something clearer, to make the situation clearer,
Clear,
right?
understandable, yeah. That's fine.
Right. More, give it more examples, something that makes it clearer, makes the idea clearer. Like, so if I said, she finally passed, she finally passed. So how could we contextualize that?
It's not clear, right? She
Yeah, she finally passed. Oh, that's a good one, actually. She finally passed. She finally passed. That's a real good one.
how she's gonna modeling this, you mean?
No, no, no. How can we contextualize that statement? She finally passed. All right, so let me help you. What is context again?
The situation that the learners should understand.
All right, the learners understand, right?
Yeah.
So how can you contextualize that? Meaning, how can you make a learner understand that
I
statement?
will give them more words, synonyms for the
All right,
word. Finally,
do it.
I'm
Don't
looking
worry
for.
about no, 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 no. Why are you worrying about finally? Why are you worried about one word? She finally passed.
She passed in the end, or
What about this? Number one, we need to establish the overall situation. What's the overall situation?
the just.
Okay,
You
what's
mean
the gist? In this case, she finally passed. What's the gist?
she succeeded
She succeeded in what? Well, she passed what?
in the quiz or the test? I
Okay,
guess.
she passed the quiz.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So number one, the learners need to know, or the person you speak to need to know. You guys need to be on the same page that we're talking about a quiz.
Mm.
So the person might go, how is Maria doing? On how did Maria do on her how is Maria doing in her English class? Well, you know what? She's finally passed. Right?
Mm.
And then the person looks at you a little bit weird. So how can you contextualize a little bit more? How is Maria doing it in English, her English class? You know what? She finally passed. And then the person looks at you like, huh?
She did great.
Contextualize.
Yeah, she did great efforts. She is excellent now. She,
No, well, okay, but that wouldn't that make me more confused now? Because if she did a great effort, why did you say she finally passed?
she was not good in the beginning. She was weak, right? In the beginning of the year, let's
Okay,
say.
all right. So, okay, right. So you would contextualize by saying maybe you would say something like, she failed the final exam or she failed that course 3 times.
Yeah, and she's doing better now, and she passed now in this final exam. But
Yeah, this time she actually passed because you know what? She failed 3 times before.
yeah,
That would contextualize it,
oh, okay.
right? So
Mm.
meaning contextualize meaning why are you saying she finally passed?
Yeah, I don't want to
Now,
say
there's
fail. That's
sometimes
why I was looking for something else more polite. I don't want to hurt you.
don't you can't be polite, right? We're trying to get meaning. We're trying to get meaning. And
Ah,
that's a
okay.
good you make a good point. You know, what is more important, meaning or politeness?
The meaning you are right, but
The
because
meaning,
I'm talking to parents, that's why if you are,
yeah, of course. Listen. Yeah, if you're talking to parents, you want to be polite, but at the end of the day, you need to make sure they understand too. Look, the reality is she wasn't doing very well in the beginning.
mm,
Or the reality is she failed this quiz 3 times, or she failed this thing 3 times. That's the reality.
yes, you
So,
are right.
when we talk about meaning, you got to understand if you have to decide whether you want to be polite or you want to communicate the idea. Now, yes, I would agree. There's some balance there,
Mm,
but at the end of the day, meaning is more important
important.
because you don't want three months later someone says, "Well, why didn't you tell me? Why
Yeah.
weren't you more upfront? You should have told me 3 months ago when I asked you, right? You told me she's doing okay, right? Ma, but I said finally. No, you told me when you contextualized it.
Mm,
So when you contextualizing meaning that you're adding more so a person can understand. You're giving more depth, right? You're providing more situations or details rather, so a person can understand the context better. Because I can go, same scenario, I can go, hey, um, how is Maria doing in English class? And I go, she finally passed. And you go, what? Yeah, she died last week.
yeah.
Because past also means
Ah,
die,
die. Yeah.
right? So
Mm,
so contextual because somebody may hear she finally passed and go, oh Lord, not my baby. No.
that's why
What I
we need
mean
to give, yeah,
No, no,
more
no. What I mean
explanations.
was, yeah. What I mean was, she failed the test three other times before. No,
Yeah,
baby's gone. No, right.
you're right.
So that's why we contextualize. That's why we contextualize. We
Mm,
contextualize to give more meaning to the context because sometimes people might not may think of a situation that you're not thinking of.
mm,
Right? So the situation that's understandable to them may not be the situation that you are that's understandable to you at that moment for many reasons. Maybe they came in on a conversation late, right? Maybe they're new to the situation, right?
yes, you're right.
So we often have to contextualize because everybody might not be on the same page.
Mm,
Everybody knows. So you can say, do you know what past means? Yeah, of course I know what past means. Past means to be successful at something. but somebody else may be coming in depending on what they got going on at the time. Maybe they just lost somebody in their life. They just lost their grandmother or somebody. He said
Yeah.
past, they still think of death. No, not another person, right? So the reason why we contextualize to make sure that the context, that the situation that's understood is understood between everyone.
Mm.
So we definitely, so grammar plays a part in that. Okay. How to highlight key features. So we need to know, we need to be able to highlight key features of a grammar point. The terminology used in textbooks. In appropriate language. What's appropriate language? Right? Going back to she finally passed. Is that appropriate context? What do students need to know? Students need to know common forms. They need to know patterns. They need to know the functions of a word. They need to know that the part of speech that words take on different functions. So just because a noun is a noun can also be an adjective, right? A noun can also serve as an adjective, right? A verb can serve as a noun, a gerund. What's a gerund?
Again?
What's a gerund? Gerund.
G-E-R?
UND.
Oh, it's a word ends with ing.
And it serves what function?
It
And
comes
it
it
does
comes
what?
at the beginning of the word of the sentence, what?
And it serves as a what?
Yes, sometimes
It,
it can be the
so it looks like a blank, but acts like a blank.
again.
It looks like a blank, but acts like a blank.
Oh, this is nice. This is oh, yeah.
So what is it? It looks like a verb, but acts like a subject of a sentence.
Yes.
Running is my favorite exercise. Running is the subject of that sentence, but it looks like a noun to a student. I thought running, teacher, I thought running was a verb. I thought all ing words were verbs. Well, no. They can also be gerunds, gerunds,
Oh, durance. Yeah, I hear. Oh,
right?
yeah.
So we need to know, so students need to know that words have different functions too, right? They don't depending on where they fall in the sentence, they carry on different functions. So boy may be a noun, but it may be acting like a adjective in the sentence.
Yes.
And especially now when in modern English, what's happening is, if you notice, people are making nouns verbs. If you notice, that's like a new trend now. We're making nouns like weapon, weaponize,
Oh, for example, what?
like weapon, weaponize. That's
Oh,
the one. That's a big one. But I've heard a lot of nouns that are being used as verbs. It's a new thing that people are doing.
mm.
Kind of trendy thing in the language now.
Trendy,
Turning
new things in languages.
yeah.
Mm,
So it's important that a learner knows that that words have different functions.
mm,
Um, they need to know variations of the language, how to tone, and how there's different ways or different iterations, different ways to say things. They need to know the generalizations, like when we talked about the collocations, right? Phrasal verbs, generalizations,
mm.
right? So unit one, let's look at this. Word classes. All right. These are the labels we place on different kinds of words to talk about. Form based upon word collocation. We know what collocation is now. In a sentence, in appearance or sound. What is collocation?
The collocation, the words that come together, right?
To form meaning, right?
For meaning.
Words that we typically use naturally to form meaning. We don't say, right? Is that what we just talked about?
Yes, yes. They're focusing on the meanings, all of them.
Yeah, everything. My point to you is that everything ultimately deals with what? Deals with meaning.
Yeah.
Everything ultimately deals with meaning. Okay. So collocations are words that or groups of words that we normally use together that create meaning. We don't say we make our homework, we say we do our homework, right?
You're right.
We don't say we did a mistake, we say we made a mistake, right? These are collocations. In appearance and sound quality, stress, rhythm, and intonation. We already talked about that. Function. The way the word is used in a particular sentence or context. That's the different function. Word order. The sequence of words as they appear in a sentence helps define their function. Actor, action, receiver, thing, place, and time. The boy gave me the book at school yesterday. Okay. So we look at, unfortunately, word classes and other sentences parts are difficult to label because of the conflict between descriptors, ing, as a general rule, function predominates over, for example, the phrasal button up. There's a phrasal verb to button up or button up. So let's look at function of each word. Let's look at a woman gave the book to me yesterday. So A is what? What is A?
Article.
All right. And here, does it have, okay. So A is an article and it's serving as a determiner. Its function, so articles are actually what? Adjectives, right? But it's also serving as a determiner.
Determiner, yes.
All right. Because it's serving as a determiner. Okay. Give me 1 second. 1 second. And so
I have to read
so
this book. Sorry, Mr. Bain. I have to read
so
this book, right? The grammar book.
what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a video. We're gonna do some of it today. I'm just trying to give you an introduction, and I'm gonna go over the answers. Because again, typically what we normally do is I would bring you either to my home or if we did a school in a class or something, and we go over this book. We spend maybe like 6 or 7 hours on this book.
Yeah. It's 31 pages.
Yeah, it's pretty long. And as the book goes on, it gets more and more difficult. But it teaches you one thing. The one thing I like about this workbook is that it teaches you that grammar, don't focus on grammar. Don't try to teach grammar lessons because number one, you don't know as much grammar as you think you do. Only focus on only focus on the stuff that is important for the student to be what? Coherent.
Yeah, I got it.
Students don't need to know everything about grammar. Come on.
So what do I need to focus on this book? Only the
I'm going to
people,
give you,
a
I'm going to give
video?
you a video, and
Oh,
we're going to go over it. I mean, as a teacher, it's good that you know all of it,
yeah, oh, yeah.
but
Okay.
students don't need to know all of it. Not they need to know a little bit at a time.
Mm,
What we want to know, what we want them to know is how to be coherent.
yeah.
And they're not going to learn all of this in one moment. If you try to teach all of this too much, too soon, you're going to get them to hate grammar. You're going to get them to hate writing.
Mm,
They're going to hate writing. We don't want them to hate writing. We want them to love writing. So
yeah.
we don't want them to to feel like they have to be a grammar expert to write well. You don't need to be a grammar expert to write well. You just
Yeah.
need enough. You need to know enough grammar to be coherent.
But the problem we are in the schools are not following these things.
They're not because to be honest with you, a lot of people don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Yeah, yeah,
For me to be frank.
yeah.
Okay. So let's go back to A. A is
It's
a
a
determinant. It makes it clear that there's specific what? One specific what?
one specific noun,
One specific
person,
which is what? Which is what? In this sentence.
a woman
Woman. So it makes it clear that it's one specific woman. Woman is what?
is a noun, a name of
And it does
person.
what does it tell us? What does it tell us?
Give the book to me.
Oh no, just look at the word woman.
Oh,
What does
woman
it
is a
tell us?
noun, a name of person, a female.
So female it tells us about gender. What else do we know about this word woman?
It's one person.
One.
It's
One.
female, singular.
And what else? And what else do we know as it relates to this sentence, woman?
What else? From the word woman?
From this sentence,
From this
in
sentence.
this sentence,
Gave the book to me yesterday.
it's a gender, it's one, and what else is important? That it's the what of the sentence.
What?
The woman is the what of the sentence.
Ah, the subject of the sentence.
Thank you. I gave. What is gave?
A verb.
All right. And what else? Tell me more.
The action word.
Tell me more.
It's past
Past tense. What
past
about
tense
the?
article, determiner. The
Uh-huh. And then what else do we know about the word the? In this sentence, for this sentence.
the
How many?
how many? Yes.
What is it? How many what?
How
What is it?
many? The noun that comes after it.
Yeah.
Oh,
So the is what?
yeah. You tell me what is it? What I
The
finished.
is what? One what? One what? What's the word that comes after it?
Singular, you mean?
What's the word that comes after the?
It's a noun.
What's the word that comes after that? Book, right?
Oh, yes, book.
So what else do we know about the book? The is what? The book is what?
It's something that we know,
We know it's specific.
a
We
specific.
know it.
Mm,
This is how you break down a sentence for your learners. This is how you break down a sentence for your learners.
yeah.
What about book?
A noun,
This is now.
singular.
Singular.
Um,
What else we know about book?
but
Look at the sentence.
one gave the book the object or
Thank you. It's the object. The students don't need to know SVO. That's a sentence structure. Subject, verb, object, right? What's the next word?
preposition to.
To. And it shows what?
Uh,
Because you got to know, students don't know what preposition. You might as well say diddly squaddle squaddle squat. They don't know what preposition means. So you got to be clear. To shows what? Preposition means nothing to them. To shows what?
Here in the sentence, to whom? Like we give the
So we say to preposition show what?
direction.
Direction. Direction. Me?
Pronoun.
Okay.
What else?
It's a possessive pronoun, right?
Yes, possessive pronoun.
And but what's more important than that for this sentence?
Sorry, again?
What's more important for this sentence? Again, learners don't care about possessive pronoun. That means nothing to them. So say what it is.
I'll have to tell them that after the verb we put me. This is what I teach them.
No, for this sentence, forget in general. For this particular sentence, we're breaking the sentence down. Me is doing what?
Yes, as I told you, me, it's for myself, but we put it me after the verb. It's like I when we write it in the beginning
But
of the sentence.
me is in this sentence is doing what?
What?
What is it doing? You said the book is the object, right?
Oh, yes, to me.
So what is me doing? What's the function of me?
It's like the object of the sentence, the same, or what?
It's the receiver of the object.
The receiver.
It's the receiver of the object, right? Right? Receiver of the object in the action verb. It's the receiver of the object in the action verb. What about yesterday?
Adverb.
I don't care about these adverbs, prepositions, pronoun. Tell me what it's doing.
Time. To tell me about the time.
Time
Yes.
to happen when?
The past.
When? Thank
Past
you.
tense, yeah.
Right? Relating to what?
Relating to what?
Relating to what?
To the action, to the verb.
Thank you. Thank you. There is a God. There's God who sits in heaven above and watches over us.
Well, I know these things, but I'm afraid of your questions that we have another.
What is the point that I'm showing here? Number one, learners don't care. You can say preposition and pronoun and adverb and determiner and all this until your face turned blue. They're not gonna, they heard the word, they could say to as a preposition, but they don't really know what that means. They just remembered that to is a preposition. They just remembered that woman is a noun. But when it comes to break down a sentence, and trust me, one of the values that grammar has is that it helps us with comprehension.
Yeah.
Okay, if you good at grammar and you're thinking, you can understand well what's going on in the sentence. Okay, so
Mm.
if we which helps with critical thinking, right? So let's get out of this worrying about naming something a part of speech, right? And talk about what is going on with that word in the sentence and how does it work in creating meaning. Meaning. I don't care that you're able to say that's a verb and that's a noun and that's a pronoun. That doesn't mean anything.
We have to learn the function of each word.
The function as it relates
To the meaning.
to a particular sentence.
Mm.
Because everything that we do in speaking is conditional. It's based on what? The context.
Mm.
The situation that's understood at that time. Why do you think for the last 8 sessions I've been talking context? Because context is everything. It's everything.
Yes.
That's all we do as teachers is make sure that learners understand enough context, as much context as possible, so they can solve problems. So they can solve problems, communicate. When they understand the context, then they can communicate coherently what's going on to solve a problem. Everything comes back to context and solving problems. Everything. That is your job as an educator. Now, if you want to be a teacher, then you worry about that A is a determiner and A is an article and woman is a noun. That means diddly squat to the learner. They can learn that in first grade, second grade, third grade, get to the 11th grade, be able to point out every part of speech and still can't write a sentence.
Mm.
Because all they know is that they can label it. Right?
Yes, right. This is what I'm doing really actually in the reading session with them. I integrated the grammar when we have noun, when we have verb.
But what I want you to start doing is in doing your reading, pull out a sentence for the text from the actual reading, and then make the grammar point that's important at that time. And when a student or students don't understand a sentence, break the sentence down like we're breaking it down now. You don't have to do this all the time.
Yeah.
So, like for instance, let's say we're doing narratives. Narratives are what? Stories about something that happened when?
Narratives.
Narratives. A narrative. A narrative is a story or a situation that happened in the what? In the past.
In the past, yes.
In the past. All
Mm.
narratives are things that happened in the past, right?
Yeah.
So narratives are good to talk about what? Past tense.
Past tense.
They're great situations to talk about past tense. You can pull out sentence from the text that you're reading, and you can go over the past tense verbs. Now they get to see it in real time based on what? A context, a situation that they're understanding. So you do all the things that we talked about when we said teaching reading, and then you can highlight the grammar point. You can go back on a second read, all right, on the second read, and now look for the grammar point. Take some sentences that they already read because you read it one time. We're going to read the story again. We're going to pull out sentences from the story that we just read. And we're going to show the grammar point of past tense.
Yeah.
She gave. He liked. Right? Yesterday. Tomorrow, yesterday. Last night. All these words to highlight what? Things that happened in the past.
Past.
Right? Because it makes sense. That's a great opportunity when you're dealing with narratives to talk about past tense.
Yes.
Huh? We're not going to just talk about tenses. All right, boys and girls. We're going to learn this class. We're going to learn about past tense. Okay, let's take some verbs. This is the infinitive to give. The past tense to give is gave. The past tense to tell
This is
is
what they're
told.
doing.
That,
Allah.
that doesn't mean diddly squat to a learner. Because now you're asking them to remember all these things. No, show it to them in real time based on something that you're already doing. And if it's not in the textbook, create a story yourself.
No, yes.
I mean, now you have ChatGPT or AI. You could say, all right, here's 10 verbs. I want you to use these 10 verbs to tell a story about somebody who was eating ice cream, right? About a kid who was eating ice cream. And I want you to use all of these 10 verbs in the past tense. So now AI has created a story for you. And then you're going to teach that story the same way that we talked about teaching reading. And then afterwards, after you go through and they understand the gist and they understand the main idea and they understand all those things, you're going to go back for a second reread for your grammar point. And during that lesson, and say, okay, let's look at sentence. And you can give the second reread, right? Listen to me now. The second reread, this time you have the sentences numbered in the story. The first time you don't have the sentences numbered. This time you have the sentences numbered. Let's say it's a short story, 3 paragraphs, right? And you number every sentence in the paragraph. So now you can say, all right, let's look at sentence 8. What do you notice? All right, she gave the ice cream to Henry. Gave, right? Notice gave. Gave shows us what? When did she give the ice cream to? Did she give the ice cream yesterday? No. Did she give it today? No. She did what? That was it was in the past. So we use gave for past tense. When did she tell? When did she tell? When did she tell? Let's look at sentence 11. When did she tell the secret to Mary?
Last week.
Told last week. How do we know? Because it said last week. What's the verb? Did she say tell? No,
Told.
she didn't say. Why did she say tell? What's the word that was used? Told, teacher. Oh, so we use told when we want to say something that was said in the past. That's better than saying, all right, guys, to tell, told, tells. What? And if you keep on doing it this way, what happens is you create routines, is what Ron Richard calls the culture of thinking. You create routines where at a certain point, and we don't know when that point is, by the way, the learners begin to know the routine without you even pointing it out, because you're training their brain to notice patterns. Because your brain is what? A pattern-seeking device.
Yes, but I want to tell you something. How can I tell them that which words or indicators or adverbs that they have to use them if they want to talk about past? So I have to give them as a small introduction, or I have to tell them that we need to change the form of the verb if I want to talk about past.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You do it the same way I just told you. And then you tell them. You pointed it out.
Then I integrated. You see, I explained just the rule, then I integrated in the reading.
No.
This is what we usually use.
This ain't math. Listen, I noticed you said something. Before when we first started. You said grammar is like math. I didn't say anything.
Oh,
Grammar, not, grammar is not math. Okay. Yes, in math class, you got to teach the rule, the
rules.
rule, the
How to
order,
make.
but there's rules in a different way. In math, math is math. Okay? Math is math is math. The rule is the rule is the rule is the rule in math, right? It doesn't matter. In English, there's always an exception to the rule. Always. Every rule in language, there's always an exception to that rule. So why are we teaching rules? Teach the point. Teach the grammar point for that situation in context. They're smart. They will begin to understand that that it happens, it works this way for this, and it doesn't
Yeah.
work for this way for that. They're smart. They play video games. They know that this move doesn't always work for that situation. They know that. They're smart. All you need to do is give them context, reading context, listening context.
Mm.
That's the what? The comprehensible inputs. Our job is to give learners comprehensible inputs and then point out what we want pointed out for that comprehensible input, whether it be a grammar point, whether it be the main idea, whether it be the gist, whatever it is, literary points, whatever it is. We do it with comprehensible inputs, not by just saying, okay, boys and girls, we're going to learn about the protagonist today. Okay, we're going to learn the protagonist and the antagonist. Okay, the protagonist is the good guy, and the antagonist is the bad. Repeat after me, boys and girls. The protagonist is the good guy. The protagonist is the good. The antagonist is the good. The antagonist is the bad guy. And then when they fail the quiz or they fail the test, you go back and say, I told you that the protagonist was the good guy and the antagonist was why didn't you get it on? Because you didn't give them enough comprehensible inputs. Telling them that the protagonist is the good guy and the antagonist is the bad guy is not a comprehensible input because it's devoid of context. Spend most of your time teaching them context. Language arts is not math. Math, the rule is the rule is the rule is the rule.
Yes, that's right.
Not in language arts, whether it's English, Arabic, Greek,
We are
German,
implement everything in the wrong way. Astaghfirullah. What the hell? We need to
because it's
change.
easier. Because it's easier to do it that way.
Yeah.
It's easy to take the textbook or do a worksheet and say,
It's like
this is
the
the rule.
spoon
Follow the
feeding
rule.
for the students. It's like this, 1 + 1 equal 2, like this.
Yeah, it's easy. And I tell you, and I've always said this, everybody wants to be great at math. And we're not happy that we're not good at math. So we try to internalize our math yearning to be great at math and try to input it into language arts. No, grammar is not math because there's always an exception to the
Sorry,
rule.
sorry. I'm really sorry. I will not repeat it. خلاص, sorry.
because every situation because situations change and what happens is we
Yeah.
confuse the learners because they said, well, I thought you said last unit, but then you got to go, well, no, and this is no, hold on a second, this is a different rule this time. This is the exception to the rule, right? And then then the learner goes, you know what, this English stuff is too hard, and that's what happens. If you go out to be the rule Nazi, the students just go, you know what, I don't care. And then we force them to do what? We force them to cheat. We force them to plagiarize because we are not focusing on what's truly important, what's truly essential. What's essential is that learners get as much context and that we point out different things based on context. This is
Yes.
why cross-curricular education is so essential. Because imagine if you created a story, right? Story about the little girl who and her ice cream narrative.
Mm.
And then and in this story, you give that story to the social studies teacher, you give it to the arts teacher, you give it to the history teacher, right? You even give it to the math and science teacher, right? And then all of those teachers use that story for the comprehensible input to teach their lesson. Now what happens is the learners are getting the same story told from the perspective of language arts, told from the perspective of history, told from the perspective of religion, told from the perspective of PE, art. They're more likely to say, oh, that's what the English teacher meant. Oh, that's what the history teacher in another subject. Because again, remember, what did I say day one? Particularity. Dr. Camara DeVelu. We don't teach classes, we teach individuals. Some individuals have a math brain. Some individuals have a language arts brain. Some people look at things abstract. Some people look at things more concrete. Some people look at things from different perspectives, right? So it's important that we issue the same comprehensible inputs. It's called cross-curricular learning. So the learner can focus on one input and see the many different possibilities that could come from that one input, instead of having Dr. Ray say, this is the way you should think about this. Right? Dr. Ray can be completely wrong. Dr. Ray could be a racist. Dr. Ray could be a bigot. Dr. Ray could be a bad person, or he could be a dictator or a fascist. No. Hear the story from Dr. Ray's perspective. Hear the story from Dr. Smith's perspective. Hear the story from Dr. Muhammad's perspective. Hear the story from Dr. Sarah's perspective. Hear the story from different, and then that forces what? The learner to say, to create synthesis. What about my perspective? Right? And in each one of those educators asks the learner to produce a work that synthesizes from their perspective. That's where true learning takes place. So if this is the case, especially with language arts, we have to be careful about front-loading rules and be more diligent in making sure we let learners know this is the situation for this situation, and then providing opportunities, comprehensible inputs where it may be another situation where the rule changes. And then if they get that enough, they understand, oh, guess what? You know what I tell my students? Life is chaotic. Therefore, language is chaotic. Life is chaotic. Therefore, language is chaotic. Why? Because language is only an artifact of life. Right? We don't create our life based on the language. We create language based on life, our experiences. Right? And if that's the case, that means unlike math that is consistent, right? Math on Earth is the same math on Jupiter. It's the same math in another galaxy. Math is math is math is math. However, English in the United States is a little bit different than English in the UK, is a little bit different than English in Pakistan, is a little bit different English in Sri Lanka, is a little bit different than English in Germany. Huh?
Yes.
Because life is chaotic. Math is not chaotic. Math is math is math. Math. E equals MC square is E equals MC square in Pakistan, Germany, Sri
Mm,
Lanka, UK, Egypt, Syria,
the same.
Yemen. It's the
Jordan.
same. South America,
Jordan.
Argentina,
Uh,
Jordan. It doesn't matter.
yeah.
E equals MC square is E equals MC square.
Mm,
But syntax is different in all of those countries.
mm.
Syntax is different, right? The morphology could be different. Hey, sometimes even the collocations could be different. A lot of times the
Mm,
different.
yeah.
Okay. So understand that. And if the students know and get that vibe that you're not a grammar Nazi, they're gonna love language arts even more. If you're more concerned about what they have to say in their synthesis and how they want to contribute to what they have read, you're going to get a lot more value. Because then you remember when we talked about writing, right? Remember we said we want to get them to write in class.
Mm,
Why? So while they're writing, you got your desk here, they got their desk right there. Then you can go over the particularity. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Okay, you really want to say it like that? Now I don't care. The only reason why I'm asking you to say, think about how you want to change that, because I don't quite understand that. So say it to me in a way that I can understand it and other people could understand it. How can we go about doing that? Right?
yeah.
Versus this is the rule. I taught you the rule. Mark, 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 red, X, you didn't. Subject verb agreement. Da 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 da. This is not
Yeah.
right. Capitalization, punctuation. It's a lot of stuff going on.
A lot, yes, a lot of stuff, yeah. Hectic.
All right. So
Mm,
that's the point of this word classes there. Okay. We'll do one more and then we'll finish. You know what?
mm.
You know what I think I'm gonna do? I think we might make this, we might continue this. I gotta see how I feel. We might continue this as the last class too. I gotta see how I feel. But let's do one more. We got
Okay,
5 minutes.
yeah.
All right, activity 1-3. Adapt the role of one or more of the following word classes: noun, pronoun, adjective, verb, adverb, preposition, determiner, or conjunction. Match the definition below. Present yourself to the group. Okay. Don't worry about 2. This is if we were in class, in a
Okay.
live class. 2 is if we were in a live class. All right. Who are you and what defines you? Who are you and what defines you? Which one is that? Who are you and what defines you?
Noun.
Hmm?
Noun? Or do we have noun? We don't have noun, sorry. Wait. Ah, noun, yes, we have noun. Who are you and what defines you? The noun, yes.
Now, okay. You're different varieties or subspecies.
Sorry, again.
You're different varieties or subspecies, if any.
Your different varieties of, if any. Ah, this is number 2. Okay.
By the way, let me say this. I'm not being fair here.
Oh,
There's many answers to these, right? So this is
mm,
supposed to be acted out in class. So this could be noun, it could be determiner too.
yeah.
It could be adjective also,
Oh,
couldn't it?
mm,
Aren't a lot of people defined by their adjectives? I am woman. I am woman, hear me roar. Right?
yeah.
Right? Woman in that case is being used as an adjective. I'm a woman. I know a lot of women say I'm not. My life is defined as being a woman, right? Some men, my life is defined as being a man, right? Some people, my life is defined as being rich, poor, right? Isn't that in Arabic we say what? Miskeen, right? What's miskeen? Miskeen is somebody who does what? You know miskeen. What is a miskeen? Somebody who's miskeen is what?
The meaning, you mean?
Yeah, what's the meaning?
مسكين يعني someone who he needs help.
Right. And but doesn't it also mean they always act like they need help? They always put themselves in a situation where they need help. Like I was told that miskeen is somebody who they always need help.
Oh,
They
something.
always, oh, can you help me? Every time you see them, so you
No,
go,
not
this person,
necessarily. No.
not necessarily. I was told that that's what that meant. That it's somebody who, like,
Needs
because
help
you hear people
always.
say, always they need help. This person is miskeen. Like I hear people say, this person is miskeen. This
Oh,
person is
okay.
miskeen. Like they always need help, right?
Oh,
So they become defined by being miskeen, right?
yeah.
And
Yeah.
a different subspecies. So your location in a sentence. What is that? Your location in a sentence. What might that be? Your location in a sentence?
It's not clear. Your location in a sentence, it depends.
Could be what? It could be any of those.
Yeah.
Could be preposition. I think preposition because of that word direction. What other classes you often hang around with?
Other classes, I mean, I
So you
hang.
often hang around with. So basically, again, this activity is really designed to be, it's supposed to be like a fun activity where you say, I'm a verb and I often hang around other adverbs, maybe a determiner, maybe a noun, right? Maybe we should skip that one. That's designed for it to be a fun. Let's do 1-4 real quick.
يلا.
This is better.
Give me something clear.
This is more clear. So out of I think there's an I too.
Oh, this is a good type. Match the correct definition from the list below. Gives
Yeah.
more.
There's also I. There's also I here. Locates where things
okay.
directly.
Let's start with A. Gives more information about the time, place, manner, circumstances surrounding the verb. A time, place, surrounding the verb, adverb.
Adverb. Okay, that's right. Next.
Person,
Adjective.
place, thing, having information. Noun.
Okay. See.
Joins two or more words of clauses, conjunction.
D.
Adds qualities to person, place, or thing. Adjectives.
E.
Sound expressing sentiment or emotion found at the beginning of the sentence. Sounds or emotions. Determiner.
No.
What
That's
is
an
this?
interjection. That's an interjection.
Interjection. Okay.
So you want me to give you a good example of an interjection?
Yeah.
Stop!
Oh.
Help! These are interjections. We don't
Oh.
use them. We don't use them, and it's when the sound tells you that there's a situation. We don't use them in academic writing. They normally
Yeah.
in creative. Okay. Next.
Specifies that this person, place, or thing is different from some other. No, the same or
No. It's different from some other. It's different from some other. It's different from some other. You know this.
Do we have pronouns or what?
No, it's different from some other. You know this. Look at the options that you have. It is different
a
from spelling.
determiner.
Determiner.
Mm.
Next.
The activator, motion, action, state, or imagination, stimulator of thought. Can I repeat one of these options or no?
Come on, you know this. This is easy. The
Activator.
activator, the activator, or stimulator of thought, motion, action, state, or imagination.
الverb.
Verb.
Mm.
Next.
Substitutes for another word, class, for names, person, pronouns. We don't have it. لا, wait. For the name.
Yeah, pronouns. Yeah, pronouns not here. I don't know why pronouns.
You don't have
Pronouns, yeah,
it.
pronouns.
Oh,
Yeah, we
good.
don't have it here. That's
Oh,
and then
pronouns.
I.
Locates where things are or their directions, allow some verbs to take objects and allows us to follow the mention of the person. The first further description. What is it? Adjectives? We finish adjectives, right?
No.
Again.
Adjective. Direction. Direction.
Directions. It's prepositions.
Preposition.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Good.
This is the end of our time now. I think we're gonna spend maybe 30 minutes going over unit 1 at least.
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah, unit 1 and unit 2, yeah. Because I want to go over sentences. So next on Tuesday we'll spend about 30 minutes going over at 1.5 and some of 1 point in unit 2, and then I'll finish up with kind of some
So
final
on
thoughts.
Tuesday we're gonna go to this book, right? And
Only we're gonna finish up this activity 1.5
okay.
and then unit 2.
Okay,
And
then
then I want to finish some other thoughts that I have, and then that'll be it. Okay. I'm still gonna do the video for the whole smooth moves.
you're gonna send me videos, right?
I'm gonna send you a video. I'm gonna create a video giving you the answers to the workbook. And then I'm gonna give you another video for phonology.
Okay.
All right.
Just I'm
All
gonna
right,
watch
so
the videos, right?
yeah. But Tuesday we're gonna have a live class.
A lot?
No, Tuesday we will have our last
Another
session.
the last session will be Tuesday, inshallah. Okay.
And then I'll give you videos for in the future if you want to watch them to get the answers to the book, to this book.
Okay. Oh, yeah, okay, I
All
got
right.
it. Okay, got it.
All right. You learn anything today?
Yes, of course. I'm really glad to have this session with you. Wow. Every day I'm learning, every time I'm learning a lot with you. Thank you
Cool.
so much, Mr.
Perfect.
Rainer.
All right. So we'll see you Tuesday then. Okay.
Inshallah. Inshallah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye
Bye for
bye.
now.
Bye.